to the Monster Trio manga cast featuring my boys, Connor the Quest and Shwabadi.
Hello.
We are. I'm so sorry for the huge delay between episode 1 and episode 2. From now on, we should be doing these weekly, just from now on. But I do apologize for the huge break. But we'll be back now. We'll be reviewing manga. Today, we're continuing on our exciting adventure of the My Hero Academia Vigilantes. We've read and we'll be discussing volume 4, bam, 5, bam, 6 of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Yeah, we all got that thing on us. Sorry.
Specifically on you.
Specifically on me. I have 9 volumes. But yeah, we're live streaming this on Twitch, by the way, so you can see all the fellas in the chat. Got the chat up in here, and at the end of the episode, we will be taking questions from the chat and such. So if you want to ask us questions, you come in by the Twitch streams and say hello. Yeah, how have you guys been, gamers?
Not too bad. Been waiting for this because I fucking loved the last 3 volumes.
They were
of this.
good.
They were amazing.
They were very good. I was very excited.
Amazing.
I was very excited about these. I read them whilst laying in bed, as I tend to read my manga, and I had to sit up in bed whilst I was reading them.
It was that exciting.
It was that exciting. That means a lot. That means a lot. I did not fall asleep whilst reading them, is what I'm saying.
That's good.
That's
all you can ask for, really.
Better than some other manga that I have read. But yeah, I was going to say Mr. Shwabadi seemed the most excited about these. He read them first, and he was like, when are we doing the next episode? Please, I gotta talk about these.
I was really excited. There's so much to talk about in these volumes. They're really exciting. But full disclosure for those watching and listening, I read all 3 of these in the course of 2 days immediately after we recorded the last episode. So it has been a full 5 weeks since I've read these. So I might not remember some of the finer details, but I will be gushing about the major plot points.
It's okay, because I have some notes for you to make sure you remember all those major plot point details, including, but not limited to, fucking crazy what? Vagina bees. King Kong Ripper.
So
Knuckle is daddy?
That's the title of my Sonic and Knuckles fanfiction. So, for context, Mark read them 5 weeks ago, all in one burst, and hasn't read them since, or whatever. Connor read them about a week ago and made notes, and I read them all yesterday. So they're the most fresh in my brain, but I didn't make notes. So we are different levels of inserting this into our head, and our combined brains will come together to hopefully talk about this manga. You can see Mark has already started reading.
I just really wanted to look at the art again. It's so pretty.
It is good art. And there's no booty on the back of the cover.
There's
no ass.
There's no ass.
No,
there is ass in end of volume 4. There was a big ass.
Is there a big ass at the end of volume 4?
Yeah, I'm trying to
We
find
are all
the biggest.
we just
right here. Look at that. Look at that ass.
Oh,
nice.
Huge ass. What?
Big ass. Big ass.
Oh, because this is. Do you know why there's big ass here?
Yeah, because it's just showing what defines their characters. Why is there big ass there?
Because this isn't an actual chapter. This
Yeah.
is like a little, like a side. For those who haven't read the printed tankobon volumes, the included short story at the end is actually the kind of teaser they put out at the end of a Shonen Jump magazine to tell people about Vigilantes and what it is.
Yeah. So
they had to
include the butt.
They had to include ass.
They had to include ass
to bring people in.
They had to
say,
include
hey, look,
ass.
we got ass.
We got ass. Hey, look! Come read our book. We got ass. That's how
We got
they reel you
knuckles.
in.
We got sliding quirk. We got ass.
We got... Knuckles and ass. That's my second Sonic and Knuckles fanfiction.
Okay.
No.
Should we just get straight into volume 4? Boom, boom. Of
Yeah.
My Hero Vigilantes.
Straight into the vagina bees, which took me by surprise.
I missed the vagina bees.
How did you miss the vagina bees?
Sorry.
How?
I don't know.
Look at that. Look, they come in. Wait,
The vagina bees are like page 6.
Vagina bees.
Yeah.
She lifts her skirt and bees exit her vagina.
Okay, do you know
And
why? Do you know
begin
why I
unfold.
forgot about vagina bees? I read them all yesterday, but I read the first maybe 10 pages of volume 4 5 weeks ago.
I see.
A while ago. Okay.
I
see.
So I missed vagina bees. Okay.
I see.
Just for context for anyone listening, there is a panel in the first 6 pages where it looks like bees are coming out of her vagina because she lifts up her skirt. There are bees coming out of her vagina.
That is what happens.
But
Yeah,
there's
for
like
anyone
bees
listening,
coming out of
bees
her
come
pants.
vagina.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're beeginas. Beeginas?
Yeah.
Vagies? How would you say that?
Veggies? Okay, anyway, let's
Veggies.
move on. Because there's a lot more to talk about in Volume 4.
Okay, right. Volume 4 has 2 plot threads that run throughout it. One, I think, is a lot more interesting than another. But they're both okay. They're both good. One is more lighthearted than the other. So I was going to say Shwabadi was going to take the reins on this because he seems so enthusiastic about these books. But he's still
If you start me off,
I'll start you off. So this entire volume kind of deals with the conclusion of B-Girl. I always struggle with Japanese names and manga, and so I still can't remember what her name is, even though I've read it hundreds of times. But we're just going to call her B-Girl, unless Connor knows.
It should be in the...
Because Connor's got a big old brain.
Kuin Hachisuka.
Huh?
You've said it, and I still don't know it.
Kuin Hachisuka. It's at the start with like the character.
We'll call her Kuin.
Yeah, Kuin. Kuin, aka B-Girl.
I like B-Girl.
Yeah. I like B-Girl.
B-Girl's cool.
This entire volume kind of deals with the conclusion because B-Girl's kind of been like built up over the last 3 volumes as the kind of antagonist for this group
in the shadows.
And actually, to be honest, I thought it was going to be the 3 versus B-Girl, but that's why it was interesting to me that ended up not being the case. And but so the story starts with Mr. Knuckle. I mean, it's quite a strong opening, right? And I think I remember you have Mr. Knuckles there. Mr. Knuckles. Knuckle Duster. There with his hospitalized wife, which was a huge, like... the first 3 volumes are fun, and they've had some darker tones, but they've been still kind of, like, jovial...
lighthearted about
it all.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, the volume 4 starts... And Mr. Knuckle Duster is there with his terminally ill wife.
Yeah, she's like catatonic and like she looks like a zombie.
You know what I've just noticed about his wife as well? His wife has the eye patch on one side, which could have been foreshadowing to the twist that comes in later. Which is kind of clever. But yeah, she's there and she's she's having a rough time to put it lightly. And I think immediately it interests you, and I wanted to say this about Mr. Knuckleman, is he is an old, mysterious character, and when you have that in a show, I don't know why I didn't immediately start thinking, like, what's his deal, what's his backstory, because he's lived a life, he's like 40 years old, so he's lived his whole life by this point, and so he's obviously got stuff. There's stuff that's happened in his life. We gotta learn about the stuff that's happened in his life, and that's what we're doing.
It's crazy. Like I was
just gonna say I was super interested. Like the thing that made me want to just like get through all these volumes in basically one sitting was that it was like, hey, teasing Knuckle Duster's backstory. I was like, yes, give me it.
Oh, and there were some panels I think you might have really liked. Shwabadi. Coming later. We'll get there.
Oh. But I was intrigued by Knuckle Duster pretty early on. I think it was really volume 3 where I started to wonder why he was so interested in this bee person, and I thought it was going to be because he knew that she'd be the connection to like the bigger ring, and like he was like in the background trying to solve that,
right?
But then, he just like follows her to the roof of the building.
Well, that's a bit later. Hold up.
A little bit later, yeah.
Hold up. Yeah. Plot thread B is Koichi and Pop Idol's little pop concert. Which is fun. Can I ask you a question? There's this bit where it has this spinning like turtle shell with like things coming off of it, and someone said that's
Yeah.
a dead ringer for ga, and it cuts him off. Like, I don't know.
There is a kaiju from old Japanese movies that is a turtle that spins around and flies, and I can't remember what it's called. It begins with GA, obviously.
Okay,
It's not
so
Gamora, like
that's
gam something.
That's
But
what it's a reference to, because
It's
they're
Yeah, that's going to annoy me.
it references several whenever whatever what's his name, Captain Fantastic,
yeah, Captain Celebrity.
Captain Celebrity. Yeah, every time he faces a monster or some sort of villain, it's always a reference to some sort of movie villain or kaiju.
Oh,
from
I see.
pop
That's
culture.
fun.
Typically Japanese pop culture.
I do
but
like
there is
Gamera.
one that you'll Gamera, was it Gamera?
Gamera.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
like
so
from
one of them
Guardians
is King
Galaxy.
Kong. He fights King Kong at one point.
Yeah,
But
that was the one I took notice of because I wrote the note King Kong ripoff.
Yeah.
Well, the manga series is just full of fucking superhero and creature ripoffs, and it's amazing. We had the Avengers. I mean, and Wolverine and Cyclops are reoccurring characters, which
yeah.
I
is
love
so
those two.
good.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much there is to say about the performance side plot. I think it's fun. It has really good character moments for Koichi.
Yeah.
And I like the girl and the cowboy, how they instantly fall in love.
I was gonna say that. I literally wrote
Yeah.
a hilarious love interest with two fucking background characters.
Yeah.
It's just so out of the blue, but it's just these fun little injections of comedy that are just great.
There's great comedy that runs throughout all Vigilantes. I
Yeah,
think.
the whole like what is it called? The feather hats. The whole like feather hat thing is throughout is just fun
It's fun.
and like casual.
great.
And I feel like there was like a couple of chapters where I was like, I don't really care, but they never spent so long on it where I was
Yeah.
like, oh, where's the action? Where's the other stuff? They they cut between it quite well, I think.
And I liked Pop Idol's little. She has a little mini arc about how she
Are you calling her Pop Idol?
Is her name not Pop Idol?
Pop Step.
Pop Step. Why do I keep calling her Pop Idol?
I don't know.
Why do I keep calling her Pop Idol? Pop Step. She has a little like arc. Pop Step has a little arc where she's nervous and performing on a real stage. But then also all the background characters have their own little arcs as well. Like one's kind of mean and does it gets nicer.
Yeah.
They're like harmless little things, but it's nice that they have them. Like some of these background characters and Pop Step's group have more character development than some of the members of Class 1A.
Yeah. You might be right.
And I'm not joking, right? Like,
Yeah.
legitimately.
They really do. They
Um,
really, really do. But no, I enjoyed the little development of Pop Step through this. I think, like you say, it was a nice parallel to the really dead serious shit that
Yes.
was going on with Knuckle.
Mhm.
now let's get back to Knuckle.
Yeah.
I like as well that you talked about the first chapter opens with something really dark. It's Knuckle dusted next to his terminally ill wife.
Yeah.
The chapter ends with B Girl in a house with two dead corpses
Oh,
stealing from the people she
yeah.
has obviously
Mm.
murdered.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Shit's,
A much darker ending to
I
the
mean,
chapter.
it's just a fucked chapter.
Yeah. It really, really is. It really kind of set
Sets the
a
tone.
big tone. A big tone.
I love it though. I love it.
Oh,
Anyway, yes, continuing.
continuing, right?
Oh, well, there's one more thing.
Yeah.
I think I know who the guy is.
guy?
Yeah, the guy dead in the apartment. Do you
Oh.
remember early in it, she was like sat in like a cafe somewhere, and she got like picked up by this guy who'd obviously like was maybe like meant to be some kind of weird Tinder date or something.
Oh yeah, vaguely. It has been
Oh,
like
yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
6
But-
months.
but-
Sorry, 6
yeah.
weeks.
But like, I'm pretty sure that's the dude. That's
Same
gonna be
dude?
that dude who
Wow.
she's like obviously possessed his body and fucking killed him.
Killed him.
Yeah. It's just I remember that page really threw me for because she comes back and she's like, "Oh hey mom, school was fine, blah blah. Blah. Thanks for letting me use your credit card, dad. Haha."
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
watching TV, eating a sandwich, and it pans out, and there's just two fucking
Two
dead
dead
bodies
bodies.
next to her, and it's like, ah!
That was crazy.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know
But
if
yeah,
it's the
yeah,
same guy actually. It seems older, maybe.
And then we've got fucking Sylvester Stallone training montage, which is
No,
great.
this is so crazy.
And then he looks at the fucking picture of her, and that was when I was like, oh, Oh, and I was thinking maybe it's like his niece or something.
I didn't know anything like that then. I just thought he'd
I
done a lot
didn't
of
recognize
research.
her from the picture at all.
Oh
Oh, did you not?
no,
No, because she's got like different hair and stuff.
Yeah, I get, and two
Like
eyes.
the eyes are like when you look now, it's like okay, yeah, the eyes are the same, but
Yeah.
all right. Well, B-Girl gets the weirdly modified version of I don't even know the guy that begins with P, the little freaky fella. What's the freaky
I love
fella?
that guy.
I love that guy.
I
but
can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either. We're
He's like
hopeless.
the eel guy. The
Eel guy.
Oh,
We'll just call him
yeah,
Eel guy.
We saw him in I think the first volume
Yeah. Eel guy.
when he was just like a
Regular dude.
he was a regular dude who was like a fan of Pop Step who
Yeah,
took things
yeah,
a little
yeah.
too far, but then they were like rehabilitating him, and he's obviously some guy with some social issues, but and I was like, okay, this is cool, and then they brought him back, and he's all fucked up now. And I'm like,
He's all
oh,
fucked up.
Mhm.
Eel fella.
that's my guy.
Eraserhead's trying to deal with him, but he's too slippery.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then she's
I really
like,
I really like that.
it's interesting because Eraserhead has quite a strong Eraserhead, who appears quite a lot in these volumes, has quite a strong quirk, but it's completely ineffectual against any of these opponents because what they're these guys are like these weird mutated versions of themselves, but it's not a quirk thing that's doing this, so they can't be cancelled out.
It's like what Kakashi said.
Oh yeah, in our rap battle.
Yeah,
Like you're just
against a stronger opponent,
opponent-
you're essentially quirkless.
You're essentially quirkless.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I every time I read this, I'm like, I just wish this would be an incredible anime. It's so it's so well done.
I know.
But now we can get on to the rooftop scene, which I think is the highlight of Volume 4. B-Girl's got this electric eel to attack, and she's clearly working for someone else. We know that she's working for someone else, right? So we know she's not like the ultimate end villain. She's working for someone else. And she's sent this eel to attack this thing. She's doing experiments. Then the rooftop scene happened. Boom, 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 boom. Big Knuckle Boy and B-Girl, which is
with a fucking taser.
With a taser knuckle dusters.
I love that. He did not come to the fuck around. He was like, nah.
I'm here with my boof boof taser knuckle dusters. It's incredible.
And then just Mom's waiting. That sent me.
Yeah.
That sent me.
It was powerful. You're coming home, Mum's waiting.
Yeah. And I like, you know, it's very, very subtle, but I like that they said that and then they waited until the next chapter to reveal that it's his daughter, because I don't know why, I just like that subtlety of saying Mom's waiting rather than come back, my daughter. Like I like that little subtlety of reveal.
And it is also revealed here that the B user is a different like person to the girl, right? The B user and the girl are different people. And the girl herself, I think, has a different quirk, actually. And the bees are just controlling her.
because the bee user is like just some sort of parasite.
Yeah, that's like inside her eye.
That's what I was wondering, was like, I didn't know whether it was like literally a parasite that has a quirk that was fucking people around, or whether it was someone else who put the parasite in her.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
It doesn't seem like there's a follow-up on who the B user is after. So is it literally just the parasite was a quirk user?
Maybe we'll find out.
Like, was the queen bee the thing that had the quirk? Because we saw that cat had a quirk.
Yeah, and maybe that was like meant to make you aware of that fact.
Maybe. I in my head, it's someone else uses the bees, and that's like the leader of whatever organization.
Yeah.
Reporting to or whatever.
But yeah, we got the next big moment with Big Boy.
The whole fight scene between Knuckle Duster and his daughter was so good for me, because it plays on the expectations of you won't hurt me, I'm your daughter, and then he just fucking jaws her like frame one.
He just jaws, and the face here is great as well, like the fucking
yeah. She's like
uh-oh. Oh, there's so many good moments in this fight as well.
It's great as well, because there's like the fucking just air of his punch is already like squishing her like cheek. Like before.
Yeah, I
he's
really
even
like
made
the action, how
contact.
the action is drawn in this manga. Like, I don't read the regular MHA manga, and I know this emulates a lot of the art style in a way, but so I don't know if it's like similar in My Hero, but like the way that the action is drawn and paneled out, and like the like motion and stuff, it just looks very, very good, and it's very readable for me.
It's great.
Which is something I struggle with in other shonen like Naruto. Like sometimes the action is just like, what is happening?
Yeah, some action is difficult to follow and some action isn't in shonen, but in this, it's just, it's so clear and so well drawn. It's incredible.
Yeah. And there's lots of big panels, which is always nice.
I love big panels.
I think as well with that is the fights aren't that like long.
Yeah,
and they're not because in real life, fights are often just like a few punches maybe before someone's down, and I feel like it's getting that kind of realism effect of fighting.
Yeah, because they're like
spectacularness of like heroes fighting, fire punch, ice beam, like all that shit.
Yeah,
it's very that's Pokemon,
I mean, it does really have that. It helps you feel what it's like to just have these two people just going at it, and and I mean, Knuckle Duster doesn't have a quirk; he just fucking punches. And
we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later. But we, in the middle of this fight, is where we get revealed that two things happen. Firstly, there's a little bit of flashbacks where it seems like the daughter and the father had this like strained relationship where maybe he wouldn't support her like dream to become an idol or something, which is, if you remember, really early on in the manga, he supported pop steps, like he was like, do what you love, etc. And I think that might be part of the running theme, like he's changed as a person. And I like how they kind of showcase that maybe he wasn't actually a great father back in the day, and he's kind of tried to repent for that, and he's trying to fix his mistakes, and they might be doing that in a better way than Endeavor.
100%. I also just like how goofy Koichi is in the little bit of before Popstep goes on stage.
There's so many good comedic moments with
I just want to talk about how I love Knuckle Duster's like Batman aesthetic of not only is he just like a big tough vigilante dude, but like he comes with the cleverness, and he has like the gadgets and all the tools, and the fights are very creative. Despite his main tactic being I punch really hard, he also has the gadgets, and he always like sets things up in all these fights in the previous volumes. Like Koichi will be coming like, why did you want me to bring this? And then later it'll show you using the tools.
Show all the tools.
But he does it again here.
He does
when
do
he
it again.
Fucking dies.
So firstly, B-Girl has, I think, she has the quirk. And this, again, I just realized it's probably foreshadowing a little bit. But B-Girl, her quirk that isn't the B quirk is this electricity thing with her fingers, right? Where she's shot. No. Is that not her quirk? I thought it was a quirk.
No, that's the eel guy's quirk. One of her bugs.
Never mind, I'm stupid.
Yeah, one of her bugs got the blood of the eel guy and injected it into her.
Yes. Okay, that makes more sense. Ignore what I just said. I'm stupid. She uses the eel guy's quirk, which is the electricity thing, and penetrates Big Daddy's heart. Knuckle Daddy, as I'm now going to call him. And he gets electrocuted and dies. Or does he?
Or does he?
As we find out later, when he comes back. And here are the couple panels I thought you would like, which is the really big zoom in face of him that says, "There's no daddy better than me."
I thought you were gonna say one where he says, "That's my baby girl."
That's my baby girl. I like that panel, like despite the dialogue having the implications it does. I love that fucking panel. It's where he's like, he just got fucking, he's about to die, and he was like, oh fuck yeah, that's my daughter.
Like, that one. Yeah. Like, oh, yes, that's my clever daughter. It's so good. It's so well done.
Yeah.
But it turns out like he defibrillated himself, his own heart.
Yes.
Like Enel does in Skypiea. and I just think that's incredible. Just a
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's how it works, but in real life, but it doesn't matter because I think most people kind of understand that defibrillators kind of do that thing in fiction where they restart hearts. And,
Yeah.
Yes.
and he went out of his way to get like knuckle dusters that weren't just tasers, but they were also defibrillators, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the little call to that guy in the main series as well, who like does all the like weaponry shit for the League of Villains. Like he's actually here as well.
Yes.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yes,
Yes,
it's the
the,
same
like,
guy who's in the
black
League of
market
Villains,
guy.
the black
I
market
didn't
dealer,
realize.
who he got all the supplies from. And you start learning about all the supplies that he's gotten, and he doesn't tell you how he's going to use them, and then you start seeing him use it, and it plays the it shows you the text of his conversation with the guy on the phone and how he got these supplies whilst he's using the supplies, and I think it's really
Okay.
effective.
And also, I love the way that we find out that the way he tanks all this shit is just he fucking takes painkillers like a champ. Like he is just on an absurd amount of painkillers.
He's
And
incredible.
that is how he can just tank shit.
He's
And
an
it's
incredible man.
fantastic.
He's an incredible man.
Very cool. The last noteworthy thing I want to talk about in this volume is that Aizawa just like stops the police from carting away Eel Boy just so he can stay and watch the end of the Pop Step
Pop
show.
Step
Which
show.
and I love his little face.
That's so cute.
His
He's
little
so
face is so
happy.
cute.
He's so happy.
Good guy, Sawa.
And
Good guy, Aizawa.
and then obviously, Daddy Knuckle Duster rips the bees out of his daughter and resuscitates and restarts her heart.
And we learn what was behind the eye patch. That's
Yeah.
the Queen Bee.
And then I think at the end of the volume, we get a little hint into the identity of this other man, this guy with the scar on his face.
Yeah.
Oh, do we actually?
Yeah, he's in the
Oh, yes, we do. Yes.
police uniform or moving uniform or whatever.
Oh yeah, and he does that whole fucking like jumps to go catch the bee to like reveal the quirk. I thought that was a really cool way to like reveal his quirk. Just something really simple as
Really
he just like
simple.
goes.
Knuckle Duster is an incredible character. He just absolutely is incredible.
Knuckle Duster.
I love him. And yeah, it ends with like the revelation of that dude. And then we have that little extra thing at the end, which was just the
Yeah, that's just like a teaser.
reveal. So
And then
That's
after that dramatic moment, we jump into book 5, which opens up with the 3 fucking weird slidey guys again.
oh
Remember
yeah,
I don't know why that.
Remember the weird slidey guys who might be my least favorite characters in all anime? There are 3 slidey guys, which all they do is just steal people's underwear. And they need 3 people to do it. They need 3 people all with superpowers to achieve... Just... I'm sure there's easier ways. Anyway,
yeah.
I flip, I strip, and I suit up is what they do this time.
Yeah, but there's also the next minor villain
Why is
encounter.
he here? I when he showed up, so this fucking
so
guy,
disappointed.
this like hooded guy, all dramatic, stands there at the edge, and he's all like, "Why must people hurt each other when we're all just miserable prisoners in the same purgatory?" I'm like, "Oh, who's this interesting character?" At first, I thought it might have been the same guy from the end of the book, end of volume 4, and he then takes up all of his clothes. He's this naked man with wings, and he just flies out and then falls to the ground, and then orgasms.
Flashing people. Yeah.
And it says here, he has a technique that involves free falling from a great height. It gets him off. It says here that it gets him off.
It gets him off while psychologically scarring, and he passes by.
So they are confirming that this is an orgasm page. And then he does it. He's just gone.
I love the reaction faces, like Pop Step's face.
No, they
especially.
arrest him. They do arrest him.
They arrest him, and then he never returns. He's just.
Yeah.
What
I mean, good. I don't want him to return.
I don't. And then they have this hand guy
Who just gets beaten.
who just got
in
beaten.
one screen. He looks very JoJo.
He does look JoJo. He looks a bit like Fist of the North Star, actually.
Oh yeah.
Um,
But yeah, it's just showing us like, them tackling minor villains and stuff. But I don't know. This is all just leading up to Knuckle Duster just fucking disappearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting that once he saves his daughter, he disappears. And I assume to mostly like he's doing his own thing in the background, which we don't for this entire volume and most of volume 6, we actually don't know what he's doing. And I keep thinking, like, where the fuck's Knuckle Duster? But we have this really powerful moment that actually, this affected me the most, which was whilst Knuckle Duster was out saving his daughter, that's when his wife dies.
Yeah, that got me. That got me.
That got me too.
Because she said, "Where's mom?" And then it shows the little flashback, and I was like,
"Oh fuck,
bro!"
Like he's just a little bit too late." And they even show like the phone call, I think, in the previous volume.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the big spread, and we haven't had a full page spread like this, but
bro, the 2-page spread
where he goes, "I'm here," is
I'm here.
incredible.
Like obviously the parallel with All Might, but way more intimate and adorable, and that's just like because he wasn't there for his wife when she died.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm
He's
just
there
here
for
now.
her.
I'm not. The vigilante shit is gone.
That's also what he says every time he goes into a fight.
Like,
yeah.
Every time he would say, like, his like nearly first sentence in the series was, "I'm here." Like, obviously you think it's like a mock of All Might, but then you have it here and it's just like so fucking powerful.
It's such a good page.
Yeah.
And we don't really have a lot of scenes like this in My Hero.
No.
And I like My Hero a lot, but in terms of like emotional impact, stuff like that, it doesn't really have a whole lot of it.
No.
Yeah.
Not compared to like this already, like in just
like 5 volumes.
Barely in 5 volumes.
And here's the thing, because it's a lot smaller scale, I feel they can really go into like the human effects. Like it's a story about humans, a story about people, and their lives, and even with Knuckle Duster stuff's a bit more like dramatic, but even with like Pop Step and finding herself, and you're getting a really good character study into that, and Koichi and stuff, and it's you learn. Koichi and Pop Step already have way more characterization than some of the more prominent members of Class 1A. Like, I just think it's they're all really well just written. And one of my worries with Vigilantes, and I think I said this in the first episode, is I have this weird aversion to like prequel stuff where I want the story to move forward. So why would I read a story that's like where you kind of know that nothing that bad's going to happen because the future story exists. But then you realize with this, it's not about big things. It's just about these personal characters' lives. And it's really interesting to see their lives.
Yeah.
And then they try to make... Oh, no, you go.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
I was just going to say they tried to make Captain Celebrity likable, and it's not working.
No, it's not working. Fuck that guy.
I was just going to say, I like, after Knuckle Duster disappeared, you see, Koichi being not actually that good a hero and just getting kind of trounced by all the villains he tries to fight. And there's just like nothing really happens for a while
in this volume. Yeah.
Like for like 3 chapters, nothing really happens, and then you get the in what's the fuck's the guy's name? Ingenium.
With
that bad guy. That's kind of cool.
Not a lot. I think what the main thing now that it's pointing towards is this like weird fella, this weird lightning fella. And what I like about this story is you kind of have this like mystery. I'm not going to say espionage-esque story, but it's less big hero story and more like, they're doing investigations, they're doing these like weird like stakeouts and infiltration missions, and it's not even focused on Koichi and Pop Step. It's like it's more focused on Aizawa, to be fair. Aizawa and Detective Boy and like Midnight as well, and some of these other pro heroes are like doing these undercover investigations, which is just really interesting. And that's most of what Volume 5 is about. And
that's the thing. It's got like such a perfect like balance of the prequel characters and made up characters for this thing that it still technically is. It has that prequel vibe, but it's as you say, it's not like, oh well, nothing that bad can happen, because something bad could happen to these guys.
I mean,
Yeah.
we actually don't know if Koichi, Popstep, and Knuckle Duster are alive in current universe. So, there's one thing that I want to point out that happens in this chapter, in this manga, is Koichi further gains more abilities.
Yes,
and
which I do like.
I like that they are just taking, because his ability is actually quite simple, which I think is important, because then you could take that simple concept and like adapt it to do more things. So in this one, he learns that he can be Sticky Boy. He can Sticky Boy instead of Slidey Boy. It's kind of like the reverse of what he normally does.
Yeah.
And again, we just have more like performance stuff, and then Aizawa fighting villains. There's the big insect fella, and I don't know if the big insect fella actually talks in this one or if it's in the next volume, but I'll talk about him anyway. I like how the big insect fella's like, I'm a minority, I'm being discriminated against. These houses aren't built for big insect men like me.
Yeah.
And then they get him a nice insect house.
I like that.
I like him.
They do destroy it, but I like the insect guy, and I like the eel boy that they like briefly touch on. Yeah, he's now just trying to fit back in and
back into society, and
like he's got a couple of friends who are trying to,
and they're touching on like characters like that. What happens to these characters afterwards? And I think it's really cool. It's really cool.
It's nice.
And Fat Gum. Sorry,
Fat Gum's back. I was so happy.
What were you gonna say, Connor?
I was gonna say, like, they do a really good job of reusing characters and not making it feel like it's just like they don't want to make another character. It's
like these characters are, there's a reason why they're there. They're important, and of course they would be there, because it would always be like illogical for them to make up new heroes that would be in this area, because we know who the pro heroes are in this area. They're characters like Fat Gum and Midnight and stuff. So it'd be like, why aren't they there? But they are there, and they're doing their ting.
Yeah, and then you got the Bat guy again, who just gets cut out for the second time so easily. Like, you think he's gonna have this big grand return, and he just doesn't.
It's well done.
I like the Snip girl.
Snip Crab Girl.
Yeah,
you know what?
She confused me for a second, because I was like, why is she here? What is happening? But
I thought this, when they revealed that the Crab Girl was like an undercover agent or whatever, she said something like, she was like taking other stuff, and she said something about jokes, and I was like, oh, is it Miss Joke? You know, because in My Hero Academia, Aizawa and Miss Joke kind of have this like relationship-esque thing, and I thought that because Aizawa's in this might go into like them knowing, you know, why that's the case, but it wasn't Miss Joke. I just thought maybe it was. It's just Crab Girl. It's just Crab Girl.
I just like her. I like her snippy snip.
Yeah, it's fun.
I like her silly crab hair.
I like. But what's interesting, right, is that she can't actually use her quirk legally, even though she's a cop, which is more world building. I knew that you had to be a hero to be able to use your quirks, but even police officers can't use their quirks, even if they're apprehending criminals.
Yeah,
that's you need to have a pro hero license to use.
You gotta use a pro hero license to use your quirk.
Yeah, and that is then something that always like didn't make sense to me in the show, was like how many police there were
that weren't doing anything.
That weren't like doing anything,
and then like thinking.
Yeah, and then thinking like, wait, if like 80% of the population has a quirk, then loads of these police must have quirks. But there's like, they can't use it because they're just police.
Yeah,
and I guess that would go for like Snip Snip Girl couldn't open a barbershop. She wouldn't be allowed to use her quirk. And I guess that makes sense that just everyday jobs cannot use their quirks, because it would make an unfair society.
And it's interesting that you just see that again. Vigilantes does a much better job of fleshing out the world building than mainline My Hero Academia ever really did. And a lot of like nothing really huge happens in this, like in this volume, like in volume 4, but the end bit is very exciting, where they finally find Mr. Speedy McSpeedy Boy. And they have the whole showdown with him. And then it
I
turns out...
like that his ability isn't technically like he can. It's like it's shown as like, you know, it seems as if time stops temporarily for him, and then I like that because it creates a lot of like cool visuals.
Well, the scene, he has a scene which is very much like the Quicksilver scenes from the X-Men movies, where it's almost like time is frozen and he's just like moving all these things, and he's making them shoot themselves and stuff, and he's managed to easily escape. But what I also quite like is that he does get shot, and it shows that there is like a countdown between when he can use this ability, and he does have a weakness, and he gets a little bit cocky.
I found it really weird, these pages, this stuck out to me, where just his face is still blacked out, despite there being no shadow on anything else, and it's like, they must be doing this because it's an important character that we'd recognize if we saw his face, but we see his face in the next volume, and it's not someone we know, it's a new character. But why did they do that?
Well, to make him mysterious.
Make him mysterious. You'll buy the next volume. You'll buy volume 6 because you want to see what he looks like. But I do like this, where Koichi and Popstep are sleeping on each other. And I just mentioned.
Oh yeah, that was. I was like, oh. And also, we got to see Fat Gum not fat, and I always appreciate that in any
love
kind of media.
Yeah.
Oof, what a man.
What a specimen.
What a specimen. Is there anything else you guys want to say about Volume 5 before we move on to...
Koichi taking up the kind of mantle of Knuckle in the end of this by saying, "I'm here."
Wow.
Cute.
Yeah.
I like Horikoshi wrote a little message on one of the volume endings that says, "Thanks for giving Fat Gum some action." I thought it was funny.
Because it sounds
like something you'd comment on the end of like a slash fic with like Fat Gum in midnight. Like, hey, thanks for giving Fat Gum some action.
Fucking action, yeah.
We're not going to sit here and act like Fat Gum doesn't fuck. Come on. All right, volume 6
definitely does.
Volume 6, yo. Okay, can I just say about Volume 6 firstly, because it's kind of a minor point. I love All Might and Detective Boy's interaction. Like it almost acts like it almost seems like All Might has a crush on Detective Man. Like he's so like, oh, I'd do it. I would protect you, and here I bought you some gifts, and it's just really because it might even be that Detective Boy might be one of All Might's only friends.
Yeah,
because All Might doesn't have a public face, or not many people know about his weak boy form. So Detective, I keep calling him Detective Boy. What is his name?
His name is Naomasa, yeah.
He's voiced by Kagi, so I'll call him Kagi.
Tsukauchi.
So All Might and Kagi are like genuine like friends, and it's really nice to see that. And I think one thing that this manga showcases that sometimes shonen manga doesn't really do is that the relationships between characters, like their friendships and how characters interact with different characters, is really strong. And I think it's done really well. There are other mangas, like Naruto, where the relationships between some of the more minor characters is just not explored at all. And it doesn't. You don't even need to spend that much time exploring the relationships. Like this one conversation between Kagi and All Might, like showcased a lot about both of these characters and their relationship with each other and their relationship with other people. And so you don't even have to dedicate that much time to it. It just needs to be quality time. And it's great. And we make a lot of big advancements in this. Again, there's this whole subplot with merchandise, which is less important. It's more like the light-hearted side thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys care so much about the merchandise subplot.
I just liked how disappointed that Koichi was that it was a celebrity hoodie and not I just love him. I just love his little face.
Koichi's so goofy. Koichi has another development here, though. I don't know where, but I'll just mention it. He can make a little blast. I don't fully understand how.
It's like he's basically like a repel and push, like that's his whole thing.
Yeah.
So like slide and glide is kind of like, I almost feel like that is like super base level, and it's not actually what the quirk is meant to be used for.
Yeah.
But that's just what everyone who has it has been using it as, because it's the easiest way to use it, and he's kind of using it so much that he's actually starting to realize the potential of it.
Which is cool. I think that's awesome. I think it's cool that we get to see Koichi slowly develop and become stronger in interesting ways.
Yeah. Rather than training montage.
Rather than training montage, yeah. The training montage is the books. But yeah, there's the merchandise bit, and that's kind of cool. Captain Celebrity's here, and I hate him. Fuck him. But one of the cool things about this volume is you have the group, the pro hero group, slowly getting more and more closer to finding the identity, and they talk about this hero called Speed Hero O'Clock. Yeah, O'Clock, where he's super fast, and he's a veteran crime fighter, but then he retired, and they're saying that this new person is either like an apprentice of him, or a like a child of him.
Yeah,
and the scene with this villain seems to confirm that, because he's talking about his master. And and it's like okay.
And he has the scar across his face because of his master, which I think we get a little bit later when he gets a cut on his face. We find out that the reason why he has this scar on his face is because of his master. And I have no idea why I didn't realize it at that point. That feels so obvious in hindsight, to be like, we only know one other character with a scar on his face in the same position.
I definitely had like a real inkling that there was some kind of connection between him and Knuckle Duster. I just didn't know exactly what it was.
I definitely didn't. But yeah,
I just didn't. And to be honest, it's because also at this point, Knuckle Duster has been out of the story for so long. He was at the start of Volume 5, and that's halfway through Volume 6, and I just have not been thinking about him. There was the big arm boy who comes in and fights, and Aizawa fights, and I like how Koichi and Aizawa kind of fight together. And what I like is that even though it is technically illegal for a lot of these vigilantes to be doing this, I think a lot of the pro heroes are sympathetic towards them, and they're not going to be like, you helped me, now I'm going to arrest you.
Yeah. Especially Aizawa. He's so laid back about it, and like he kind of pulls the whole like self-defense thing.
Which is great. I love how what's the word? Aizawa just is kind of, he's not breaking the law himself, but he's kind of covert, where he's kind of working with kind of criminals and letting some of their crimes go.
He's criminal adjacent.
He's doing what he can. He's kind of acting like a vigilante in himself, which I think is very cool.
Yeah. What do you like about like the way they introduce Koichi's powers all the time?
Yeah.
They're almost never immediately useful.
Yeah.
Like in this volume, he gets the power to do the blast, and he uses it, but it's like he uses it and he's like, this isn't as effective as I would have. And I love
fire off the blast and
shonen where people get a new ability or something, a new skill, a new move, and then immediately it is hugely useful in defeating an enemy.
Oh,
it happens like a lot, where like that's the cycle. Learn something new, use it. Learn something new, use it.
Can I just there's this one panel that's very funny where Aizawa was doing something. It might not be in this one. It might have been a previous volume. But Aizawa was doing something for midnight, and he's like, I can't believe that I would stoop so low to do this for midnight. Next thing you know, I'll become a teacher.
Oh yeah.
Which I actually think is the second reference in this series to how he doesn't want to become a teacher.
Yeah. She's like, you should be a teacher. He's like, ha, yeah, right. The thing that made me laugh so hard is Mantis Man with his tea and iPod Nano.
Yeah, Mantis Man with the tea.
With his little cup of tea and his iPod in.
When is Mantis Man going to be on the Beast Cypher, Mark?
No.
What about Eel Boy? What about Eel Boy? What about Eel Boy?
Not until they get an anime.
You can just use manga panels like Rengoku.
Oh, you're right.
And yeah, they then fuck up Mantis Man's house, and just the comedy of the tea just being completely smashed out of his hand, and him just being furious is just so ironically my cup of tea.
I get it.
And then we have again. We have this.
I was gonna say, yeah, they fight Octoboy and then
fight Octoboy.
It's a kind of cool fight.
It's a cool fight, but then you.
I'm more interested in what happens at the end.
Well, there's a bit near the end where there's this mixer that Koichi's going to for some reason, and.
Oh no, I meant the. This,
oh yeah. You're right. We'll do that first. Thought you meant the end of the manga.
And we meet the guy. He talks about his scar. He's like, scratch. I can only have one scar on my face, etc. And then he just beats the ever living shit out of this octopus guy.
They spent ages trying to fight.
Yeah, and he nearly just fucking kills him. And I like the spread of him like unleashing all his attacks has this interesting effect where the dude is all like blurred up and smudged, and you can see him like 3 times just to show the speed.
Yeah.
They did that a few. They did that a few times with just like his hand in the previous volume.
Yeah, because like this kind of like digital blur effect, you haven't seen at all in this art. The art is like very clear lines and very classic manga stuff, done very clearly. And then this character shows up, and he's so fast, and that like the dynamic aspect is so good that they just fucking blur him out entirely. And I'm like, I just like
it's so cool.
It's a fun effect.
I love this. I just love it. I just love the moment. And
yeah.
Oh yeah, and then there's another little thing where that was what threw me off, is they had the whole scar thing, and I was like, oh, connection to Knuckle Duster. And then because the guy was beaten up so bad, they were like, oh, maybe Knuckle Duster did this to him. And I thought that was like, oh, okay, so they're gonna tie it into a whole Knuckle Duster is getting framed by this guy thing. And that threw me off the eventual reveal.
Yeah, that they have very similar fighting styles.
Yeah, so I thought, oh, that's the connection, and he's probably going to get framed and stuff. Which he very well might still do, but we'll find out.
Before we get to the reveal, we have another thing with Koichi and Popstep, and their budding relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't put them in a relationship.
You're not pro Popichi?
No, their age difference is it makes me so uncomfortable.
Wait, I don't know their age difference. Shit.
Well, she canonically has just started high school. Just now has gotten into high school by passing the entrance exams that her middle school does. Yeah. So she is at most 16?
Yeah, and Koichi is canonically 19.
Okay, I see.
The fact that she is still a minor and he is,
I mean, to be fair, in this, she is definitely not supposed to be there. Because she has snuck in, and this is a college mixer.
Yeah, totally.
Poor parenting skills from Midnight, to be fair.
I think Koichi might be younger than... What's the drinking age in Japan?
No, he's 19.
Is he 19?
Yeah, he can...
Canonically 19.
But in the mixer section, he says he's underage and can't drink.
Oh, the drinking age might be 21 then.
Yeah.
I think so, maybe, yeah. I thought the drinking age might have been 18 in Japan as well, but...
Oh, no, I guess not. I don't know why Midnight was there. Like...
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, no, Midnight was there because she had heard about... No, Midnight was sent by Aizawa.
Mm-hmm.
Midnight was sent by Aizawa to because she had heard that during the mixers there were like the villain things, right? Yeah. And then she happened to run into Popstep and was like, great idea, I can infiltrate with Popstep.
Yeah.
People are saying 20 is the drinking age.
They have a fucking wig on is insane to me. Like, it works in the manga because if you change someone's hair in a manga, they look like a different character. She just puts a wig on.
Yeah.
You say that, but Koichi isn't exactly the most observant. And we found that out in Volume 1 when he didn't even know it was her with just the mask and her hair up. So she puts a wig on. It's Hannah Montana. Like, she's gone.
That's true. Yeah. That is entirely true.
Yeah.
Koichi, same with Knuckle Duster. When Koichi...
Yeah. Who are you? It's like, it's me.
Scene that just everything from the setup to it to it actually happening, I was just I didn't know why any of the characters were there. like that any of them were there. I'm like, why are you here? Like, I feel like if it was just Midnight infiltrating and doing this, and then like that was the scene.
Yeah, that kind of makes more sense. But I don't know why.
Make any sense to me.
Why did Koichi go to this mixer? Koichi never. Well, I guess he there was that bit at the beginning where he was trying to like pick up girls and take back to his house. But I feel like that's not his priorities anymore. I don't know why he went to the mixer.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess he's a college kid. He probably just wanted to have a bit of fun, and then turns out he's a massive stud.
true. Can we address the elephant in the mixer?
Which is
The towel sucking scene.
Oh, that was
wait,
gross.
hold up, the towel sucking scene.
That was gross.
Rolls up, they mop it up with a towel, and another girl takes the towel and sucks the vomit out of it.
Sucks the vomit. Yes.
Gross.
Sorry,
It's
I didn't
so
get that when I.
It's weird shit in these volumes, but that one, like, I was like, huh? And I had to like go back, read it again, and go, yeah, okay, that's what happened. Huh?
At first, I thought she was just throwing up into a towel herself, but no, she was sucking that vomit up.
No, she was
Holy
really
shit.
going for it, and then decides
She was like, I'm the only one who can be near her.
I'm the
She's
only one who
mine."
can suck up her vomit.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I'm the.
And then do you know what? I'm seriously dumb because she like pulls out the drug, right?
Yeah.
And then she comes out completely like a different human.
Yeah.
I thought she'd injected herself with the quirk and her quirk was become better looking. I was like, that's
man.
interesting.
Yo, I wish I had
then-
that quirk.
and then I realized, oh no, she's using it for other people in the drink.
in the drinks and stuff.
And I was like, that makes far more sense.
I had a similar thing to you. I saw her get the thing out, right? And I thought,
I also thought she was gonna like.
no, I
inject
didn't think
herself.
she was going to inject herself. I thought they made you think it was an injecting thing, and then she came out, and actually it just looked like it was like an injector shaped, and it was just lipstick, and it was a red herring, right? It was just like because she was shown putting on lipstick, and I was like, oh, maybe that's just a really big lipstick thing, and they wanted to make us think it was her, and then the twist is it's someone else, but no, it was her.
And then we get more Midnight Titty.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
she just brings the tits out.
Just
She did also bring her costume.
she did.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know if that is her costume. I think that's just lingerie.
Yeah, which is close to her costume anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, Thomas the Tank Engine's in this one. Yeah.
He is. I fucking forgot about Thomas.
Thomas the Tank Engine is in this one.
Oh, I completely
There
forgot
he
about.
is. There's Thomas the Tank Engine. And
He's
he's
just an evil train guy.
and then he just gets beat up,
man.
and then the panel of Thomas the Tank Engine just kind of dead on the ground is so funny to me.
I love the little fucking calls.
What?
It's amazing.
Thomas the Tank Engine has had a rough day.
He really.
I'm
really
so
has.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Well, and then at the very end,
Bro, I'm so dumb that at the very end, like the very final bit where it shows you Knuckle Duster like coming in and like
talking to the old
fighting these
man.
guys, like and like the first thing he does is beats up a bunch of dudes. I was like, oh dude, this guy's crazy. He's just like Knuckle Duster.
Hold up. Before we get to that important part, they link it back to China, and Aizawa said that he's going to go to China like off the record, right? Which is very cool.
Oh.
And actually, this whole scene happens in Hong Kong, which is also cool. So,
Yeah.
Well, I thought that this was Aizawa for a little bit because he said,
Yeah,
"I'm
we
going to
could.
pop to China,"
I'm going to pop
and
to
then
China.
I thought this was, and then he just fucking annihilates all of them, and then no, it can't be Hyper Quad Fist.
Which I think is
He got his face split and quirk stolen. And then that reveal, because I hadn't put anything together at that point of O'Clock and Knuckle Duster being the same person, that was like, whoa. So that's why he doesn't have a quirk. He used to.
yeah,
But like he's got a beard.
yeah, because
He's got a beard. Does that make you happy?
That makes me very happy.
You could cosplay Knuckle
you
Duster.
literally could cosplay him.
I could cosplay him. I could be Knuckle Duster.
Finally, you have a cool character you can cosplay.
Until Volume 7 where he shaves.
No, But yes,
I don't know. I feel like he's keeping it.
Just so that we clarify, the final reveal at the end of this volume is that Hero O'Clock, the mentor to the main villain currently in the series, is Knuckle Duster, but Knuckle Duster lost his quirk somehow. We don't know how. And they had a lot of foreshadowing to it because he has the scar in his face, and the villain has the scar in his face because of Knuckle Duster. They have similar fighting styles. You know, whenever the villain beats someone up, people are like, did Knuckle Duster do this? We had a bunch of stuff kind of like foreshadowing it, which is also what makes it so effective. And it's just, he also says, I'm here at the end, which is what he says.
Yeah.
Yes. Which we love. I love Knuckle Duster, and I love the reveal. I am really enjoying the villain.
Yeah. Seems cool. I don't know what his motivation is yet.
Now, in retrospect, I'm realizing that my theory that the person who was giving Knuckle Duster's daughter orders is the bee user.
Yeah.
Doesn't add up because wasn't the person giving her orders the Scar guy?
The Scar guy? The bee...
The main villain?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
He's not a bee user?
No. But whoever the bee user probably... The bee user works with this guy, though.
That's why I think the bee user was the parasite.
It's just the bee.
It was just
the
parasite.
bee has the quirk.
And was going around.
Clarified, and we never see an actual bee user. Then it was just the
because I think that's why there were so many hosts, and it was like its only way to communicate was through using other people as hosts.
Yeah, because it actually is just the bee. The bee is the one with the quirk.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Cool end to a very these 3 manga, very good. I enjoyed them a lot more than the first 3.
This
Knuckle Duster
this
stuff.
like 3 was like some of the fucking best manga I've read this year. Like,
wow, and you read all of One Piece.
And I read all of One Piece. And, like, those reveals had me like as gassed as some of the things in One Piece.
I'm very hooked on the characters right now, and excited to see where the story goes. It's very interesting to me. I love that it's like it's the world of My Hero, and it's like it's darker and more serious, but without being, just dark for the sake of it. And
yeah, it ties it all in really well, and it has such good balance across the board.
Yeah, it's balanced for sure.
It's great. Well, it's great.
It's great.
It's amazing. And we'll be reading the next 3 and talking about the next 3 next week. Volume 7, 8, and 9 we'll have to read online. But for those people who are still in chat talking, I know a lot of people are probably just listening and not chatting, but now's your time, your limited amount of time to ask us any questions, preferably like manga related questions and such. We'll be taking a Q&A time for a couple questions for the Twitch chat. If any of you guys in the Twitch chat have any questions for me, Shwabadi, or Koda Quest, or in general, or things about My Hero Vigilantes, if you want to hear more of our opinions or just about us, there's going to be a little bit of stream delay, so I keep talking until a question. Or nobody will give us questions.
Or if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this in your podcasting app, and you're like, man, I want to ask a question for the Q&A, show up to the Twitch streams. We're trying to record them Saturday, every Saturday,
8 p.m.
I guess.
British time.
Yeah, 8 p.m. British time, which is 3 p.m. EST, and you can figure out the rest from there.
Yeah, okay. Mace Flowers is asking, what favorite character so far and why? That's actually a good question we haven't even talked about. Knuckle Duster?
For me, it's Knuckle Duster. He's just
Yeah.
he's crowded in mystery while being fun and serious, and he's just the most engaging right now for me.
It feels like a cheap answer to just say Knuckle Duster because he's obviously the best character.
Yeah, he is kind of the star of the story without being the star of the story.
He's very good.
Like, he's
I like
crazy.
Koichi.
I do like Koichi and I like Pop. I like them all. I like
Mantis Man.
Mantis Man.
Mantis Man is
The only
very good.
character I don't like is Captain Celebrity.
Yeah.
And you're meant to.
And I'm pretty sure you're meant to not like him.
Yeah.
And I like that I don't like him. It's not one of those cases where like there's a character in the series that's prominent and I'm like, I don't like this character. It's like
Get out of
it's
here.
like
Yeah.
I don't like him, and I get that I'm not supposed to like him, and it works, and that's good because I like everyone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I might make a Knuckle Duster rap. I'm putting my second channel. I'm not even joking. Do
Let's go.
do you boys want to be on a knuckle?
Vigilantes, Rab. Connor can
Yeah.
Connor, do you want to be Pop Step?
I'll be Pop Step.
Get someone to do manga footage for that.
I would love that.
I'd put that on my second channel. That's prime second channel content.
Beautiful. That is not a promise.
It's not a promise. No.
Do not. He might do it if he feels like it.
If I feel like it. It probably would just be Knuckle Duster. Silly.
Any manga that you would like to have an anime adaptation? This one.
Yeah, I mean, Vigilantes.
Vigilantes.
Besides Vigilantes?
Vagabond. I haven't read it, but it's a story I'm really interested in, and I think would have a really good anime adaptation. I wish they would do a modern adaptation of Berserk as well for a similar reason.
Yeah. Berserk in all its anime adaptations.
Oof, I don't know, because a lot of things they do have a manga that I'm into. They do have anime adaptations.
But one of them is getting an anime adaptation, and one of them is really fucking obscure.
What's the obscure one?
It's called The Girl from the Other Side.
Okay, I never heard of it.
It's like really weird, cool mini story. It's got like this little mini animated thing, but it was like an indie kind of project.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't. And to be fair, I tend to prefer to read manga anyway, so anime adaptation. I think Blue Lock I haven't read. That doesn't even have physical manga yet, but I want to read the physical manga of it, and it's like a football manga, and apparently is really good. But I imagine that would probably be a good anime if they made an anime out of that, because sports.
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been a moment in a manga that's just left you completely disappointed, coming from a sarcastic artist?
Completely disappointed.
I can't say Naruto because I haven't read it. But...
You just copy the popular opinion.
Yeah.
I don't tend to read a lot of bad manga. Everyone always asks what's your least favorite, but it's because I'm always very picky with what I read, and I always read stuff that people that I trust like. That I don't tend to read things that will disappoint me. So I can't really think of a moment that disappointed me, besides maybe the ending of Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most disappointing manga moment for me is Naruto. But I don't, like you said, I'm quite discerning with the things I read because I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't really think of anything.
No, I can't either.
So
like nothing I go into has been like so hyped up that I have bought. Like I'll normally either go into it completely blind, so I have no expectations, so there's nothing to disappoint me really.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe it just being an average story.
I think it's more like a moment and not the thing overall. Like you're enjoying it regardless, but then there's a moment that disappointed you.
Yeah. There is a moment that I can't say about it because it's One Piece and I can't.
Are you
say
talking about in Thriller Bark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That disappointed.
That
I
disappointed
didn't
me.
Get anything from that.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
Do you know the moment we're talking about?
From the climactic moment.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, no.
Oh.
Different moment for me. For Thriller Bark.
Okay. Well, we'll discuss that in like 10 minutes.
We'll talk about that.
We're trying to avoid spoilers for other things than what we're talking about.
We're talking in code.
Here's another one. What is the most obscure manga you have read? I said mine. The Girl from the Other Side is super obscure.
Oh fuck! Keroru Gunsa does that count? Sergeant Frog? Is that obscure?
I think most people have seen that character, even if they don't know like the manga.
Actually, legitimately, the most obscure manga that I've read would be like when I was a kid. I would just read whatever my local library had, and I don't remember the titles of them, but I read this like yaoi manga where it had two. One of them was a police officer, and they had guns. I remember the front of the image had a guy holding a gun, and I was sitting in Pizza Express reading it. And in the manga, two of the guys are like half naked kissing. And my mum looks at the cover and goes, "Is that suitable for children? He has a gun." And I'm like, knowing that it's far worse than he just has a gun. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. They don't. It's suitable.
Amazing. I think I haven't read anything obscure yet, but I do own Platinum End, which is probably the least.
Yeah, but the Death Note guy.
Huh?
By the same artist as Death Note, right?
Yeah. By the Death Note guy.
When I was in a manga store, but yeah, I don't know anyone who's actually read it.
No, so that's probably the most obscure one I own, but I haven't actually read it yet.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man is on the list.
Chainsaw Man is on our list. I think we're waiting for them to three volumes of it, right?
Yeah, we're waiting for 3 physical volumes because that's the thing that we're doing this podcast mainly for is we want to purchase and read manga. And this is
all 3 of us have manga collections.
Yeah,
and we found that talking about 3 volumes a week helps us read the manga quickly. If we did a volume a week, we would never get through anything.
No.
Think about it. It would be 9 weeks we would get through Vigilantes. And then again...
It will be anyway.
It will be anyway.
That's hilarious. Oh, God.
Yeah, there's been some more obscure stuff I watched as a child, but that's about it. Are there any other interesting questions that you guys
That's fun. Based on personality, who do you see yourself as in Vigilantes?
Koichi.
Yeah, I was thinking Koichi. Either Koichi or Aizawa for me. I just connect quite well with Aizawa generally.
I don't connect with Aizawa at all, but I kind of just.
I tend not to relate to and see myself as many characters in fiction because my personality is very, very plain in my opinion. I don't. Whereas like manga characters have a couple of standout features. I don't have any standout features in my personality, so I can't be like, oh, they do that like me. I'm like, no, I'm chilling over here.
My standout feature is I sleep quite a lot. So that's always fucking tired.
I just like if there's a character that has glasses, then that's.
Here's the thing.
Your pop step.
Characters in Vigilantes are too likable to be any of us.
Whoa! What are you talking? That means sorry. What you meant to say, Shwabadi, is that you relate to too many characters in Vigilantes because they're all so great. And you have so many great personality things that you can see yourself as all of these different characters. That's what you mean. I see myself as Icarus. Sorry.
Not Icarus. Not.
Because I love
flying orgasm, man.
Yeah, when I showed my tummy to stream at the start, that was
yes.
That was from so I could get off. That was my own that was my Icarus moment.
That was your Icarus quote.
A lot of people are asking us about have you read this? Do you want to read this? Like those aren't good questions, guys.
those are the equivalent of have you made a rap about this? Or about this. That's just a different question.
Do you guys plan on doing shoujo manga on here?
I suggested shoujo manga.
We might at some point.
So the way we have it right now, it's early days for this cast, but the way we have it right now is we're kind of trying to do a rotation of each one of us suggesting something. So my suggestion was Vigilantes. Next is Boruto, and that's Rustage's selection. And then what were we going to do after that?
Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga, right?
We're going to do like 2 of each of them.
Yeah, we're trying to like rotate on which person chooses what. And I know Connor is like one of the. I think you're the only one among us that's actually read any shoujo or owns any shoujo.
Yes.
I read a lot as a kid, but I don't remember the names of any of them.
Right.
I just read like volume 5 of a random shoujo manga that was in my library.
Yeah. So yeah, fair enough. So if it comes to one of us and we have one on the brain that we're like, yeah, we want to do that, then yes, we will read that kind of stuff. But I think we kind of are shonen trash typically, the 3 of us.
Yeah.
I'm totally down to read. I'm down to read anything. So shoujo, seinen, slice of life. I don't know. Whatever you boys want to suggest.
Shonen.
Mostly shonen.
Yeah.
Also shonen. Well, I like mystery stuff as well. I don't know if that still counts as shonen. It really depends, but
The classifications are hard when it's like classified by demographics. It's like,
yeah, exactly. Because I like Case Closed a lot, and that's probably is still a shonen, but I mean, it's more like watching Poirot than it is watching Naruto.
Yeah.
Totally.
But yeah, all right. I think we're good. I think we're good. All right. So next week, I'll be uploading this tomorrow. Next week we'll be reviewing volume 5, 6, and 7. Sorry, 7, 8, and 9. Whoops, of Vigilantes. So if you haven't read them, you should read them this week, and we can all talk about them together. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll be back to doing them weekly now. Very exciting. We're back in this thing. We stream them every Saturday over my twitch.tv/rustage_ around 8 p.m. UK time. You can also listen to this on Spotify, iTunes, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. And also it'll be on my YouTube channel, obviously. Thank you so much for listening or watching or ingesting. What was the outro we were going to do? Do you guys each just want to say goodbye individually?
No, we had... It was like you say goodbye, then Connor says goodbye, and then I say something about like join us. What the fuck was it?
You did a growl. So okay,
Something.
It's good.
I've got it.
Hello.
I've got it.
It's goodbye from me, Rustage.
It's goodbye from me, Connor Quest.
It's goodbye from me, Shwabadi. See you next time, adventurers.
It's so good.
I'll never get over it.